Hi, everybody. My name is Phil Canato, and I'm an implementation consultant with Prosymmetry. In this video, we'll look at how do we take our what-if model data and bring that into our live Tempus data. So I'm going to start out with the assumption that I'm looking at my model. Everything is perfectly situated the way that I want from terms of when my projects are going to be taking place. So by design, Tempus is not going to allow you to in any way whatsoever impact your live data from any of the scenarios that you run here. So it becomes a matter of pulling the data out of the model and then importing it into Tempus. So the easiest way to do this is going to be to take our model data and use it to create a pivot grid. So from here, I'm going to go and into my report management, and I'm going to choose pivot grid. And this pivot grid will put it together. And basically, we're going to turn it into an import file that we can bring in. So there's two pieces of information that I want from my model. The first is going to be my project start and end dates. So it's not mandatory that you do this, but because you use the what if module, I'm going to assume that it's important to you where your start and end dates appear throughout Tempus. So we're going to go through the first step of pulling our project start and end dates and turning that into an import file. Once we're done with that, we'll do the same with our allocations. So from here, I'm just going to give a report name. And from here, I'm going to call this, we'll call this model pivot. We'll call it start and dates. And then this is going to be the key right here. So from our source data, we're going to change this from live. And then we're going to go and pull in the model that we want to pull data from. So I'm just going to select it. And now it just comes into pulling in some dimensions. So I'm going to go into our dimensions tab here. And the way that we want to lay this out so that we can quickly turn it into that import file is we're going to pull in, first I'm going to pull in my project name. We're going to pull that in as a row. And then I want to go down to my measures. Actually, no, I want to find my project start and end dates. Here we go. And I want to pull these in as my measures. So I'm just going to pull this in here. And you see this renders over as its own column. Do the same with my end date. From here, I have project, name, start, end date. These are really the key things that I need for my import file. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to choose the Excel flat version. And we'll give that a minute to become available to us. All right, so let's go ahead and open that. All right, so here's the data we just pulled. So from here, I want to format this in the way that Tempus is going to require me to, so that I can do an import. What I always like to do is come back into my Tempus environment. I'm just going to save this report. And then from here, I'm going to come into my admin settings, and I'm going to go grab the template that I'm going to need to do my import. So from the import's always done under data sync. And from here, I'm going to go into Excel. And then because we're importing projects, I'm going to go to my project tab and just hit the templates button and just give that a second to download. Now let's go pull that up. Here it is. All right, great. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and delete the things that we really don't need. So it's going to be pretty much everything that's not green for this exercise. So really, I only need three pieces of information: project name, start and end date, which we pulled out from the pivot. And I need my import behavior, which is going to be merge. Go ahead and copy this down to the relevant data. Copy it. Hopefully it'll let me paste because I'm in a new tab. Perfect. I'm just going to carry my merge down. And hit save. Then from here, this is ready to do an import file. I'm not going to go through the actual import itself in this video, as we have that covered in a separate video. But from here, it just becomes a basic Excel data sync for the projects within Tempus. So this is file number 1 of 2 that we need. Now we're going to go and create our allocation file. All right, so for this, we're going to go back, same place we were before within report management, and we're going to create a pivot grid. All right, so just give this a report name, call this model pivot. We'll call it allocations. All right, so again, I'm going to change my source data over to the model that we were using. And now we'll just go start pulling in our dimensions. We'll need some more dimensions in this report than the last one, but I'm going to take you through here one by one. So the rows that we're going to need for the import is going to be our project name. If you're watching this video, if you want to go and pull the template to kind of walk along with how I'm pulling this in, that will be within data sync on the assignment import tab. Same way we got the project template. So I'm going to go and pull my resource name, resource dimensions. Right now we need to find our assignment data. So for this, for the import, we need tasks. Now, one thing to note here, I'm going to go ahead and pull an assignment ID. The assignment ID being present within your import is only going to be pertinent if within your Tempus environment, you have the multi-assign selected. If you're not using multi-assignment, then you can completely disregard pulling in this field. So from here, we have our assignment ID. The next thing that we're going to need are the allocations from our model to import that'll replace our existing allocations. So this is going to be under measures. I'm going to go to plan allocation. And depending if you're using hours or FTE, in my case, we'll say we're using hours. So go ahead and pull in our measure. And next we need to give our time period. So I'm going to pull in the date here. We're going to do date year and date month. So now we've gone ahead all within our model, and we have these in the monthly format as such. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. And now it's ready for me to move into Excel and turn this into our import file, just like we did before. All right, so we'll open this up. All right. Same step as before, just we're going to use a different template. So this is our data that's come out of Tempus. We're going to go now into, let's leave here, go into our data sync within admin settings. Let me go into my Excel. Now we're working on the assignments tab. So this is where that template I mentioned is. So I'm going to pull this up, and we're just going to populate this for our import, similar to how we did for our projects. All right, so I'm going to delete some of the things I don't need. In this case, I'm using my project and resource name for my import. So we'll go ahead and get rid of those. My assignment ID is present. I'll go ahead and move that in the order we had it. That was after task. Then I'm just going to delete the other things I don't need until we get down here into our allocations. So now it just becomes a matter of bringing our data in. So we have project, resource, task, and assignment ID. Go ahead and pull these in here. We can grab those, copy, paste. And now from here, we're going to go ahead and import, or we're going to go ahead and populate some of this information. So I am importing hours. For our plan type and allocation type, I am importing these into my planned allocations. This is Tempus's primary data set. So this is likely what you're working with here as well. Our file is going to be monthly, and our import behavior is going to be merge. So I'm just going to grab all of these values here and pull this all the way down my file. All right, and now we're ready to grab our allocations. So I'm going to start, and note one thing here. So we have January 2025. So this will spit out into Excel from the pivot in this format. The import file has a different format to it. And just make sure that these are in alignment. I'm going to go, they happen to be the same with how I put this together. I'm going to grab everything out. This is going to go out 3 years. So let's grab this way so I can see where everything ends. Okay. All right, we're getting there. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my allocations and move those into my import file. Now, one thing I want to do here while I have this selected is because I'm going to use a merge, I really want my blanks to be represented with a 0 so that any existing allocations that sit in this spot are going to be overwritten with a 0 to match how I have these as they lay in my model. I'm just going to hit the Control H and I'm going to leave it as blank, but I'm going to replace those blanks with a 0 and hit Replace All. And that populates fairly quickly there. So from here now, we have our import file ready to replace the allocations. One final step, get too excited here. So I'm going to go ahead and then just by dragging 2 of my month columns, now I'm going to drag, it's going to drag and just continue across for me all the way to the end of the time period, which is the end of 2027. And so now we do in fact have our allocation file that's ready for you to put through the Excel data sync. So with any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to your Tempus representative. Thanks for watching.